Welcome to Verbal Pick Radio, where we give you a verbal image of life, and we are everyday people. I'd like to welcome you all to the show. Got to give a shout out to young Jacory, who is in Puerto Rico at this moment. He's helping out with the recovery in Puerto Rico. A young man who took it upon himself to go down there and give out clothes and assistance and to help the people enrich and, get some normalcy to their lives. He's with the corporation High Frequency Performance Gear, and he's out there making sure that he lives up and they're living up to the creed of high frequency, meaning you can get out there in high frequency and take action to help others in time of need. That's that positive and that motivating energy. So make sure you all check out High Frequency HF at Facebook, Instagram. We'll bring you more in-depth, up-to-date within Houston citizen Jacory Burks out in Puerto Rico helping out, and he's not doing it for any publicity or whatever, but he saw the need of the people in Puerto Rico and decided to get out there and give them a hand. So you got to applaud such an effort. Protons, neutrons, and electrons. That's interesting. But you have the neutral that stands between, or the neutron, which is neutral, that stands between the electron and the proton. But the neutron knows the electron and the proton. That's very, very interesting. Alright, so let's go back. So Adam and Eve is in the garden, right? Satan comes and tells Eve that if they eat from this fruit, right, then this is metaphorically, didn't no snake come up and start talking and bam, bam, you got to use your imagination to unlock the myth, but there was no walking snake, literally, who used to have legs, but after it deceived Eve, the snake was cursed to crawl on his belly for life and lost his vocal cords and whatnot. That's not what it's about. But anyway, you got Adam and Eve in the garden. Satan goes to tell Eve, if you take a bite of this fruit, you'll become like gods and you will know good and evil. Okay, now how would he know that she would know good and evil? Because he knows good and evil, and he knows that if she takes a bite of this apple, then too you will become gods and you will know the difference between good and evil. So you can eat from any fruit of this tree, and you can gather any knowledge from all of these books, but don't go and open up this sacred book, because what's written in this book will give you the knowledge of a man, and you will know good. You will become to know good and evil. What's the problem with that? What's the problem with knowing good and evil? The problem with knowing good and evil is not bad on, per se, God's side, because you have to remember, Satan, all of this, Satan is the father of lies, right? So everything that he was telling Adam and Eve was for his benefit, because he was lying. He didn't want, see, if you knew the difference between good and evil, then what do you need Satan for? What would be his purpose? You have free will. You You know the difference between good and you know the difference between evil, so what would you need a Satan for? Now, because you couldn't be manipulated or misled. Meaning somebody come and tell you, Satan comes and say, hey, I need you to go over there and snatch this woman's purse. Oh man, you're going to get a kick out of it. You know the difference between good and evil. You weigh it out. You say, well, man, if I snatch this purse, man, and there are all these cameras around, hell, I mess around and do 5 years. Nah, Satan, that's okay, man, because I like it on this side of life where, I'm out free. I get a chance, man, to read these books. I can study. I can actually build and inspire upon some things, Then I can make me a little money. Capitalism, I'm in this society. I got a nice lady friend. Hey, man, that's all right. Jail, nah, that's not me. Hey, man, jail's packed full of dudes. You know what I mean? The food's not good. They lock you in this box. You're getting yelled at and told what to do. You're treated like a animal, like a slave, like a child. They give you coloring books and crayons. I'm wearing it out. That's all right, Satan. You know what I mean? I'm going to go on the good side. He's like, damn. Wow, man. That's bad. And so, the difference between Satan and the Creator says, study to show thyself approved. The Creator wants you to have knowledge, to make mathematical decisions. So, yeah, you got to be careful when you are interpreting or understanding the Bible, because for one, black people, you got to realize the Bible wasn't just used as a tool to raise people up. It was used as a tool to create a mental slavery, to keep slaves' mind, or to keep slaves in the slavery mindset. The white man, white supremacy, whatever you want to call it, bigotry or whatever, used that Bible as a tool to help formulate slavery mentally, and it was also used to suppress or knock out your prior knowledge of God, information and things that made you who you were, or passed down from generation to generation prior slavery by your ancestors. You can't even remember the stories that was passed down, because that was a normal tradition for indigenous people. That was a normal tradition for indigenous people. They either passed down their family crest or family knowledge or family history or the history of their tribe or race, either through mythology, myths, or they do songs, put it in a song, or they'll just have it written down and passed in whatever language that they wrote at the time, or they would sit by the fire and tell the story until you got it, until you pass it on into the next generation. So that slavery in that Bible, in that form of Christianity that the Europeans gave black people, purpose was to get rid of the old, replace it with a new, that made you a new human being. That way you could be subjugated to a religion that they formulated. So you don't have the strength, the energy, even the willpower or the want to figure out what's really real and what's really fake. You would just you'll go along as a zombie in a sense, or as a robot or whatnot. You go along with whatever they tell you because it's coming from them, and they made you trust and rely only on them because they was the one who, when you was hungry, as a slave allowed you to eat, brought you food. They brought you bread. They gave you their old hand-me-down clothes. They taught you new songs. They even got you on a diet of eating pork or swine when you never did before slavery. So many things that you picked up along the way and brought it into yourself and made it your own. Meaning you adopted their bad habits and you adopted their false teachings that they taught you purposely to create a new mind that wasn't beneficial to us as a people, but it was more beneficial to the white supremacists because you build the civilization for them without question. And they create a system to where you would pass that mindset on into the future, into future generations. That was their claim to fame. That was their survival techniques. You know, that's why you see, you can be in the mall, you can be in the store, you can be at the park. You see two children at the park, black child, white child. You would say to that black child, yeah, hey, how you doing? Black child look cute. You know. But you see that white child, oh, hey, how you, yes, oh, Jake's just so cute, look at, you know, playing it up to the white parents because you want to see that smile from that white parents to let them know that you're still under slave K ultra. You know, you a victim of slave K ultra. And so someone comes and says, hey, look, man, you know, you acting other than yourself. You eating the king's meat. You turning on your own brothers and sisters. You don't even know the extent of your bloodline anymore. They said, hey, look, you need to get it together. Because for one, they're not the other people who made you into a slave. They're not going to accept you wholeheartedly into their family. And you can't come over here because we don't trust you. You haven't shook off the slave K ultra. I mean, you actually in full effect. You know, so you have to make up your mind or you have to do something, you know, to snap out of it. We tell you what, we'll put you in a probationary period where we'll allot so much amount of time and we'll use so we should strive to get them out of slave K ultra. I mean, check it out, y'all. Check it out. The whole purpose, and we got to put this in a way to where it can be understood. See how we gonna do this. Do it by an example. All right, okay, well, check it out. We'll do it like this. If you been to let's say a horrible place, man. I mean, or you were at a horrible place in time in your life, right? I mean, it couldn't get no worse, right? I mean, every choice you made, man, seemed like you just was left with mud. You got sand, like the dude in Django. You got sand, Django. Oh, speaking of Django, Harvey Weinstein Group made Django. Django, really, the name Django means the awakened, or the origin, or the original. And what they really upset was that movie gave black people an awakening, because it took a different look at those slave times and whatnot. And it started bringing out the Nat Turners and the John Horses and people who, fought back, because the narrative that they gave black people was, look here, man, white folks beat you, you was just slave. Nobody fought back until Abraham Lincoln freed you. And doing research, you find out, no, that's not true. That's not true. You had a lot of people who fought back, so that was the awakening, and they mad at Harvey Weinstein today behind that movie Django, and whether he sexually assaulted those women, those females, the ladies who came and said that he sexually assaulted them or whatnot. I don't know, but when Hollywood want to come at you, they come at you. Trust me, they come get you when they want to come get you. So hey, Harvey Weinstein stepped on the wrong line. He stepped on the third rail. So now they coming after. They put a shock to him. They gonna shock him. But oh yeah, let's get back to so yeah, you in a sunken place, right? I mean, you just you got sand. And so you stop, you think for a minute. Then you meditate and you think. Then you say, God, in whichever name that you choose to call the Creator. God, if you can get me out of this one, stand me straight up, back right, I promise you, I never go back to what brought me here in the first place, right? And so, all of a sudden, you start noticing things getting a little better. You starting to breathe again. You starting to get a little more energy. You feeling happy, excited. You're growing. You're getting further and further away from that sunken place. Your hell on earth. And so you growing, you building. Life's going good. Then one day, something from that sunken place shows up and wants to call you back. You got a decision to make. Do you ignore it and keep moving forward? Do you go back to see what it wants and get trapped all over again and got to fight your way back out of it again? Because that's the job of whatever comes from that sunken place that you remember. Its job is to pull you back in. That's the whole purpose. It wants to pull you right back down into that sunken place where you left out. Because somebody got to prove somebody is God. God has to prove that he's the ultimate God, the creator, that he can deliver you and pull you up out the sunken place. And Satan has to prove that he's the God of the sunken place. He got to do whatever he can to pull you back in. But the ultimate decision maker is you, the individual. Do you keep moving forward and keep building? Or do you look back and get turned to a pillar of salt and go back to the sunken place? I mean, time keeps ticking and life goes on regardless of what decision you make. It's going to affect your immediate family. But the most of the world don't even know you. You're not known all overseas and over the world. And even you're not even known in different cities in the country you live in. You're known by a few people, few associates or whatnot, but that's what that is. So, who you trying to impress? A small percentage of people who don't like you anyway? I'm just saying. Or do you just keep building and moving forward? You already know what the sunken place experience is like. Hell, you mastered that. Hell, you fought like hell even start praying. God, get me out of here. Get you out of here. Time proceeds. You get a familiar memory, and now you want to go back. Or you keep moving forward. I'm just saying, it's up to the individual. So that's what it's like when you've been in bondage and someone comes with knowledge and gives you knowledge and you start to wake up. Now you're starting to move forward, and there's going to always be something that's going to remind you where you came from and hope to bring you back or keep you there. When looking out ahead, it's so much things to explore and discover and build upon, and you'll never run out of road. So why look back? Some would say, "Oh man, that's cold-hearted. That's man, that's you wrong for that. Why would you even tell anybody that? What about all the people they leaving behind? You know, what about the example that person is giving them to move on, so they can climb up out of it too? You know, it's like when somebody in the woods and somebody gets hurt and they say, I'm gonna go for help. You know, the person that's hurt, you know, they think in their mind, is it better for them to go for help and leave me here alone by myself, or should they stay here with me and we die together? You know what I mean? Or we be stranded together. No food, no water. One person hurt, can't move. You got one person who can go out for help to bring back help to save that person. But then that person gets choked by fear. In their mind, they would say, well, you need to stay and suffer with me. Gee. You know. That's how people see things in life. Verbal Pick Radio, we're out.